So another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Golficity. It's U.S. Open week, and we're going to be giving you a full preview with picks with our first recurring guest of the podcast, Beatinthebookie, hopefully. And we're going to cover a little bit of the Safeway Open, which, a little irrelevant to this week, but we'll get right into the U.S. Open after that. So let's get into it. So this week, Stuart Sink won at the Safeway Open, and his son was on the bag, and his son is like him. His son himself is old. Like Stuart Sink is an old bag.
Did you see the picture of his for his first win was in 11 years, and it's just you said picture when his last win, like his son looked like he was 16 years old.
Oh, I did see that. where his last, when his son was at hitting a ball at the range or something like that. It was the same picture. It was the same picture, like him and his son hitting balls at the range next to each other, back then and then now.
Really?
And, and his son just is so much older now, obviously, so it looks so different.
Yeah. Well, good for him. I'm glad for Stuart Sink. Older guy, but
I mean, how many holes of this golf tournament did you realistically watch?
5 maybe. I don't know. I watched a little bit on Thursday.
I saw all the highlights and stuff, sure, but I didn't watch any.
I mean, it's tough.
I had a couple matchup bets going. I kept checking up on it, but other than that, I didn't really watch it all.
I mean, it's tough. We had the return of football. For me, at least, NHL playoffs is going on right now. NBA playoffs is going on right now. The Premier League return this weekend.
Yep.
What else did we have? I don't know. There was a lot going on.
I literally worked
college football.
Morning till pitch black, both Saturday and Sunday. So, and worked Thursday, Friday. See, it's Monday. This is how bad how weird the golf industry is. It's Monday, and I've worked the past 6 days.
That's just golf for you.
I have Wednesday and Thursday off, and then I work the full weekend again.
That's so. Do you work tournaments again on the weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Patty tournament.
Yeah, so many tournaments, dude. Frick. Anyway. What else we got on the Safeway Open? I know Jeek had a pretty good week with DraftKings. Doc Redman was up there.
Doc Redman went 10 under on Sunday. He wasn't that close to the top of the leaderboard, and then all of a sudden he's just leading the tournament. And it was weird because it was in Napa, so the tee times are all behind from where we are in the Eastern, so they're all really late. So I'm oh man, Doc Redman might win this tournament, and then I see a couple guys below. I'm oh, the leaders aren't teeing off for another 3 hours, so I guess he's not going to win this tournament.
Most, lead off the PGA Tour season tournament of all time, in Napa, before the US Open, just it's crazy, just how weirdly off this week was.
Now a couple things.
Did you write surged SERGED?
I don't even know. I didn't. I just autocorrects. You.
Okay, I was gonna say I was really confused by that.
And then another thing I saw.
About the wildfire.
What'd you say?
We talked about the wildfires, how crazy that was.
Yeah.
On Wednesday morning, I saw that picture. It was 11 a.m. there, and it was looked like they had lights on the putting green.
That was from Doc Redman's Instagram story. He did a video, and he's these fires are crazy, and it was just
wild.
It looked like the sun was setting, and they had lights on the putting green and stuff, as they were preparing for the tournament. That was crazy. Mm-hmm. It got a little bit better as the week went on, but that was interesting.
Did you also see? I saw this on Twitter today. I saw Riggs actually tweeted it. Stuart Sink let his caddy go because he said he liked Kiz, or he said something nice about Kevin Kisner. And I'm like, that's a little weird, but then I realized Stuart Sink went to Georgia Tech and Kiz went to Georgia, so maybe that has something to do with it. But still, I thought it was pretty funny. And obviously, he had his son on the bag and he won. Yeah, but I thought that was pretty interesting to think about.
Interesting. Also, I think another thing that like I just noticed from this weekend, especially since I didn't watch that much, dude, Harry Higgs was electric this weekend. I don't know if you saw like on Friday. I think he had a hole out from like 230 yards, which was sick. And then on Sunday he was behind a tree on 16, and he hit this massive hook onto the green and then made his putt for eagle that like literally set him up into like second or third place or something like that. So big week for Harry Higgs.
He had like all his buttons down too, like when he made the eagle or double eagle. Yeah. That was the celebration. It was so funny too. God love Harry Higgs.
All right, anything else from last week? Safeway Open? Any other notable things?
I think we can move on to the big show. I don't think people came to episode 46, the Andy Pettit episode.
Oh, was that right off the spot?
I mean, that's the only 46 I could think of.
Yeah.
That was off the top of my head too. I wasn't thinking about that. But nobody came to the Andy Pettit episode or the U.S. Open episode for
Safeway Open.
That was more of what people are looking for the Safeway Open.
So U.S. Open week.
There are a couple people who are out. I mean, Brooks Koepka, that sucks. But at the same time, I want to see Brooks Koepka healthy playing.
Mm-hmm. Same.
If Brooks Koepka was healthy during the PGA Championship, he would have won.
I mean, Brooks Koepka being healthy just changes the entire dynamic of the tournament too. Like if Brooks Koepka was in the tournament, like you can't count him out of a major. Now it feels like it's like DJ and Rahm right now.
Kinda, yeah.
And then another one that sucked this week was Scotty Scheffler, test positive for COVID, so he withdrew. That really sucks because he was playing so well. You're right.
Awesome, yeah.
He played really well at the PGA. He was playing really well leading up to this U.S. Open. He was a guy that I was definitely looking forward to watching.
I feel like Winged Foot is one of like the most like iconic U.S. Open courses. I feel like it's one of those.
It's a big U.S. Open course.
But the Open Championship, it's like St. Andrews, like whatever. I feel like it just kind of sucks that anybody who can't play this week isn't going to play.
Yeah, so he gets replaced by Brandon Grace.
Yeah.
So good for him. Good for Brandon Grace. Gets to come in.
Good for Brandon Grace.
He's not a bad player. He can make.
No, he was the last. He was the last. Actually, the last guy out. So
I'm gonna say anyone could make the cut this week because in certain aspects, like you just need to manage the course.
I feel like it's not anyone can make the cut. Honestly. I think anyone could miss the cut. I think that's similar.
I like that. I like that more.
There'll be big names that miss a cut this week. It happens in every U.S. Open.
Definitely.
And then another one who's out, Sam Horsfield got COVID. I mean, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but pretty much he was one of the last guys in the tournament. He qualified through like those qualifying events and stuff like that. So that sucks for him because he grinded to get into the tournament, and he's not able to play. He's being replaced by Pat's favorite, Rory Sabatini. So maybe Pat will pick him this week, but probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. Like most definitely not.
His salary gotta be so low too.
I mean, let's find out. I mean, as a last second alternate, probably. He's not even on the DraftKings. He's not even on it right now because this is like pretty recent.
Rory Sabatini.
I just want to say I'm so excited for the U.S. Open. This is like by far my favorite tournament every single year, just because of the course and like one because of Winged Foot, two because I love it watching everyone just get eaten alive, and I love the Fox broadcast, but like NBC's like I'll deal with it. I like NBC too, but I can't wait for the U.S. Open to start. And Sunday when it finishes with football on too, it's gonna be insane.
That's the only thing I'm gonna say. It's weird having the U.S. Open on when like all this other stuff's going on.
I know, yeah.
I mean, you got the NBA playoffs, NHL play. Like I mentioned before, football's back. I wish the U.S. Open was last weekend.
Yeah, I agree. That'd have been kind of cool, but it is what it is.
But you know what? It's the U.S. Open. We're gonna watch it. We love the U.S. Open, so.
Yeah, I'll definitely be watching the U.S. Open.
We want to do the Monday hypothetical?
Yeah, with that being said, let's get into the Monday hypothetical. This was a good one that Trev kind of came up with. Pat revised.
Pat, yeah.
Pretty much, I I'll read it word from the Instagram, so I'm not like summarizing it. So let me get to it first. Okay, so pretty much you were given a 3-shot lead going into the 18th hole at Winged Foot in the U.S. Open. Are you gonna win or are you choking?
So are we assuming the next person?
Let's assume that like the 3 shots is there. Like the other person you're playing with makes par. Or everybody's in, and you're like the only one that's competing.
You make double bogey.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
Okay, so just to put into perspective, I had to research the last hole just to see what it looked like.
Fine. Trevor might be able to make a double bogey, but like
I would say if I played the hole, I would literally play the hole like a par 5. I'd play the hole like a par 5.
But like I researched the hole. It's a 469-yard dogleg left par 4, and the green is elevated and it slopes from back to front, so like it's like downhill like that. I said there's no chance I'm getting like less than a triple bogey on this hole, because even if I do hit the ball well and I get it on the green and stuff like that, I'm not gonna get it close on the green, and I'm probably gonna like 3 or 4 putt, maybe 5 putt. Like you never know. I think the putting's gonna be this part that gets me.
Also with the pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the pressure is the big. I think I would literally I'd literally go like 3 iron, and like get close to the green, like try to chip it like somewhat close and see if I can do anything. But like, the pressure would
try to get it on the green, and then what? You have to 3-putt.
I have to 3-putt.
Yeah,
I think I get 3-putt. With the greens though, I have no.
I mean, they play lightning fast greens.
Yeah, lightning.
Like,
I know. Like
where you can put it off the green.
I would literally like tap
it.
Like I would lag it twice.
Yeah,
I would lag it twice.
There were some decent answers. I like Mike Fasano's answer. I would go 9 iron, 9 iron, 9 iron, and then pray for a double bogey.
Yeah,
that's very conservative.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
it's not like too long par 5, but par 4. But
I saw your dad said he would win, and that's just cap.
Well, my dad's played Winged Foot before, probably a couple times actually, and he said he had a par in 17, but like you weren't playing in U.S. Open conditions, so
you weren't playing U.S. Open conditions or from the tips.
Yeah, so I mean, if he says he could hold the lead, maybe he can't, but who knows?
Speaking of holding the lead, last time we were here, Phil blew the lead on the 18th hole.
Yeah, Phil really did blow the lead.
Yeah,
that was one of his meltdowns.
That's what influenced what I said there.
Yeah.
What do you have, a 2-shot lead?
I think it was only 1.
No,
maybe it was 2.
I think he had a 2-shot lead, and then or I don't know what he did, to be honest. But what was it?
He hit it way left. He hit like so far left into the woods that he like
just like a classic Phil shot.
Didn't go in the bunker or something?
I think he might have gone in the bunker. I'm not entirely sure.
I mean, this was 2006, so we weren't that old.
We were 7 years old.
Yeah.
So.
He made double in the last hole. He was up by 1 going to the last hole. And he made double.
That's tough.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still, absolute joke. The job there.
The final winning score was +5. That's crazy. I hope we see that this week. That'd be nuts.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. But the rough this week is really thick. Did you guys see that video, that like viral video this week, where the guy pulls like an Arnold Palmer like can out of the rough?
I'm about to watch it. To watch it right now, but that's like I can just picture that.
Like it's just like you're like, oh, like what's in the rough? Like what's there? And then he pulls out
How
this
are
like
you supposed to hit a ball out of
this size.
You can't hit a ball out of that. That's unbelievable.
It doesn't make like I'm trying to think it's literally almost as big as this.
Yeah,
it's like up 3/4 of the way, like right.
That's like up. You're not even gonna be able to see your shoes when you hit the ball.
That's just
like
that's that.
wild.
I mean, it's the U.S. Open, but like it's just dumb.
I'm waiting to see a video from like Kevin Na, like him throwing the ball in the rough and like not being able to find
he does that every. He's like one of those guys that does that every tournament. Kevin Na and his caddy.
Cantley did last year.
Kevin Na and his caddy Kenny Harms are pretty electric on social media. I think I'm gonna hit the DMs for Kenny Harms one day and try to get him on the show.
Definitely.
At Shinnecock, I dropped my AirPod case into the fescue. Thought I was about to lose it.
That's worse than a golf ball. That's just gonna sink straight to the bottom. Yeah. Why'd you bring your AirPods to the Shinnecock?
Because I was in Jeek's car And
okay, that makes sense.
We went early as hell. I was just like, I don't know, I plugged in some music, took a nap, and then I think I just forgot to take them out of my pocket.
That'd be brutal. You drop your AirPods, and imagine like walking across the fairway and like drop your AirPods in like the rough or something like that as you're getting across, and you're just like sitting there waiting. And, like people are trying to hit, and you're frantically looking for your AirPods as you're trying to get off the fairway.
That's nightmare scenario.
Yeah, nightmare.
AirPods, you can take an L, but let's say if it was like your phone or your wallet.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which is something that you have lost before.
Which you'd probably lose in the rough at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, lost my phone before. I haven't officially lost my wallet. I found it every time I lose it.
Did you lose your wallet in the microwave?
Yeah, no, it was fun. I was like, you were like, I was like telling you like places to check it, and then just like as a joke, I was like, why don't you check like the microwave and the oven? And you're like, it was in the microwave. I was like, you're serious? He's like, yeah, it was in the microwave.
Freshman year of college, yeah. Freshman year of college, woke up, didn't know where my wallet was. I was like, damn. Turns out me the night before thought it would be funny to put in the wallet or put it in the microwave.
That was like I don't know. That was like high altitude pod day. High altitude pod days.
Yes.
Maybe.
What?
When we did the other podcast.
Oh, that was pre-high altitude pod.
Really? That was that long ago?
Honestly, we haven't even talked about that on here ever before. If you guys want to see some serious throwback
oh God.
Like, content, go to like episode 16, it's the last episode of the High Altitude podcast on like I think it's only on Apple Podcasts, to be honest. We had an interview with like some random.
Oh, I do remember.
Louis Paletta, our biggest fan.
He was awesome.
He was amazing.
Great guy.
Yeah, honestly, he does like a he's like a host for like Kaye TV, which I've never heard of before.
Yeah,
but like
big basketball fan.
Seems like he's pretty good at that.
Great guy.
Yeah, shout out Louis Paletta.
From his Instagram, it seems like he lives a very good lifestyle.
Oh, he does.
Like lives in like a high rise in New York City.
Yep.
But anyway, let's get back.
I remember doing that interview and like that was crazy.
Maybe we'll have him back at some point. Maybe play golf.
I doubt it.
That'd be pretty fun.
We'll see how far we both come.
Hopefully he's a member at like Shinny or something like that.
That would be awesome. All right. So on that note, we don't officially know if we have this interview. We really hope we do. So I'm going to turn it over to that. And if we don't have it, it's just going to go straight into our betting talk, which, we're pretty good bettors as well.
If we don't have the interview with Beatinthebookie, I'll hit him up and ask him just some quick picks, and we'll just toss it in here. Like one of us will just say these are Beatinthebookie's picks.
Yeah. So at the very least, you can come to this episode, and right after I'm talking, you're either going to hear Beatinthebookie talk about his picks, or you're going to hear them from us. So
yeah.
Or a few of them, at least. So let's get into that.
Okay, as promised before, we have on our first recurring guest of the year, Beatinthebookie's back for the U.S. Open this week. We had him on for the PGA Championship a couple weeks ago, and it was really great. So welcome back.
Thanks. I'm happy to be back. Got a lot of positive reception last time I came on, and just looking forward to some golf this weekend.
Yeah, so
can't wait.
Yeah, so going right into that, let's just hop right into it. This week we got the U.S. Open at Winged Foot. Obviously, it's known to be one of the harder courses out there. Just by looking at the conditions this week, the rough is high, the greens are super fast, just like most U.S. Opens. Going to be a tough one. What kind of players do you think have an advantage here this week? What kind of play style fits the U.S. Open?
I think one of those grinded out guys that, I think, Koepka, his style would be perfect for this because, at this course you could get a few bogeys and it's practically meaningless because everybody's going to be having bogeys. I saw a video of the 18th green and it's got so much slope on it that, I think it's wild. The USG, they always try to, prove themselves and make golf hard, make these golf tournaments hard and stuff. When Jeff Ogilvy won this in 2006, he shot a 5-over.
Right, yeah. Mentioned that earlier in the podcast. It's just crazy. And just looking at all the videos that have come out this week, the greens look crazy, lightning fast, sloped all over the place. Going to be a lot of carnage this week.
I think a consistent player who just is really consistent with his irons. like a Webb Simpson, Dustin Johnson. I mean, right now, how could you really bet against Dustin Johnson? Because Dustin Johnson's been playing. He destroyed the field in Boston with a 30 under, and then he won a tournament with a 2 under. No, he was just almost won a tournament at the BMW
in the playoff. Yeah,
and then he won the Players. So Dustin Johnson's pretty well suited for any course there is right now, like the PGA Championship. He almost won that also, and that played harder. So it's I think Dustin Johnson has an advantage right now over like a Jon Rahm because I think he's more consistent right now. And Dustin, if Dustin hits a bad tee shot and gets a penalty or something like that, he's not gonna have that mental blow up and get pissed like Rahm will on that. Yeah,
that's true. I didn't even really think about that.
I guess we'll just jump down right to that because one of our questions is going to be DJ or Rahm, and you kind of said DJ. What we do find interesting about Rahm though is he won 2 events that were kind of in harder conditions, the Memorial and the BMW, obviously. So, I think a lot of people might be targeting him this week as a winner pick just because he's won those events.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, you can't go wrong betting Jon Rahm like in this event. I mean, he's been playing great golf. They've both been playing great golf, and I just think DJ's been a little more consistent right now. We saw Rahm going good in the Tour Championship last week until he seemed to blow up on like a 3-hole stretch,
right?
Which pretty much ended the chase right there. But I think you can't go wrong with either of those guys, and like good ball strikers like Webb Simpson, consistent guys. I think like a Kevin Na, I like a Justin Thomas could play well. I think I'm not big on Rory this weekend. Like I told you guys last time, what's he really done? He's done nothing since then. He is a father now, so I think maybe his mind's a little off some places and stuff like that. But I just think one of those consistent guys, I could see like a Shane Lowry doing well here, even a Sergio Garcia. I mean, Sergio Garcia, he's been playing all right. His putter's been kind of off lately. It was off last weekend at the Safeway. But those guys who are well equipped to handle these really tough kind of like European style courses, I think they'll do very, very well here. Matsuyama, like a Matsuyama could do well. Yeah.
So going off that, like where's like maybe some of those players as well, but what are some players you're targeting? What are some players you're fading? I know you mentioned Rory and Shane Lowry is someone you can maybe target. Rory is someone to fade.
Yeah. So my biggest, 2 matchups that I like this weekend are Daniel Berger versus Bryson DeChambeau. I think Berger has been playing a lot more consistent. DeChambeau, I wouldn't be surprised if DeChambeau misses the cut. I think the cut will be like. People think the cut will be like 10 over, maybe. I've read it. Yeah, it is. And DeChambeau has just been playing so bad, so bad lately. It's like he fell apart after, at the Memorial when he got a 10 on that one hole. He just fell apart since then. He's been just playing terrible. So I like Berger over him at -105, and I like Justin Thomas -125 against Rory. I think this is the kind of course where Justin Thomas can do well. And it's really suited for Justin Thomas because he could be behind 4 shots and, make up that difference in 3 holes, especially when he gets hot. So those are 2 matchups that I do like. Who I'm fading this weekend is definitely DeChambeau and Tiger. I think Tiger is just mentally getting ready for the Masters. And this is a really tough tournament. So I think it's like when the Masters, when Tiger's making good shots, he's getting a lot of confidence in himself and stuff like that. But this tournament, if Tiger comes off the tee into the rough, it's easy to see him losing confidence early.
Yeah, I get that.
When Tiger goes to Augusta,
I'm not actively fading him, but my one fade is really Bryson DeChambeau on this one.
Gotcha.
Just talking about Tiger and the Masters, when Tiger gets to the Masters, I feel like he could play Augusta with his eyes closed. Like, he just played it that many times. Like, he just knows it that well. Coming to a place like Winged Foot, I know it was 2006, but the last time he played Winged Foot, he didn't even make the cut. And this was, like, prime Tiger. So, it is definitely a tough course.
Even a guy like I could fade. It hates me to say this, but like Jordan Spieth. Because if he's not finding fairways here, he's gonna have trouble. Looking for that ball in that high rough. I I really hope they have a lot of marshals out and a lot of volunteers out to look for balls. Otherwise, we're going to see a lot of penalties. A lot of guys losing balls. And I could see a guy like Jordan Spieth just falling apart quick. I mean, I could also see a guy like Jordan Spieth winning this one. But he's just been playing so poorly lately. I mean, not even making the cut at the Safeway Open. I mean, this is like, this is basically like the lowest spot of his career. So I mean, Deshambo and Spieth would probably be two good fades in this spot.
Now, a guy that is very interesting to me this week is Colin Morikawa. I feel like he's not getting as much talk going into this week as he was previously, just because of how the Tour Championship played out and how good DJ and Rahm are playing. I mean, how well do you think Morikawa could play this week, especially coming off the PGA Championship win?
It's I feel like Morikawa has at first glance you would think like he's playing well. He's not playing well coming into this. His last few tournaments. He had a Tour Championship. He did well towards the end, but he struggled in the first round. And he struggled at Northern Trust, which was like the easiest golf course. I mean, I don't know if the golf course was easy or DJ just destroyed it, but I mean, he was over, one over par in Northern Trust when, DJ was 30 under. So he seems like he's playing the easy golf courses like poorly right now, and he's playing the hard golf courses good. So I would actually, lean to him doing pretty well in this one. Because it's a hard course, and I think it suits his game well. And he's really even tempered. So I could see him not getting where somebody else is going to get mad with, say, back-to-back bogeys. I could see him just keeping it inside and just going on to the next hole because trying not to get too angry. He does a really good job with that. So I think Morikawa. And he has a good chance, and a lot of people are probably low on him since he's not playing that great coming into this. But I definitely think a guy like that has a shot, especially when if the winner is expected to be like one over par or one under par. A guy who can just keep it close. Every hole, they'll be right there at the end. I mean, I don't see like anybody distancing from the field so much where like nobody can catch up on the final day.
Yeah, you talked about consistent players, and like Webb Simpson, like Colin Morikawa is probably the definition of that. After you play the PGA, just fairway, great iron shots, great putter, like it's perfect for this course. Seems like.
Yeah, it's typical Long Island course. So I mean, I can't stand when they have these in Long Island because the course is going to play hard.
Yeah.
The long rough.
Yeah.
So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be like a test of will, and I really think. I mean, right now, I think it's so hard to bet against Dustin Johnson that I really like him in this one. But his odds, like I said, his odds are going to be low. They're low, so I'd rather wait until DJ started, maybe the first round a little slow, and then you get a little more value for your money.
I like that.
Absolutely, that's a good plan. Who's somebody that might be like a sleeper or a long shot, somebody that doesn't have a lot of buzz around them right now? Who's somebody that might surprise us this week going into the U.S. Open?
I think a guy playing like decent golf right now is Kevin Na. He's always one of those guys that can hang right around par, and then sometimes he'll get on fire for like a 5-hole stretch. birdie, play good with his irons. His injury seems like it's like a little bit behind him now. He seems a little bit healthier, and he's 150 to 1.
That's crazy.
You give me Kevin Na 151 at a tournament where the winner is expected to be right around par. I'll take that line all day. So Kevin Na for a sleeper. That's who I've got right there.
And then this wasn't really on our show notes, but I just thought about it. How about the defending champ Gary Woodland? I mean, he's way down there in the odds right now, and like for a defending champ, that's crazy. I mean, I know it's going to play a lot different than Pebble Beach, but what do you think about him?
He's just been playing poorly too. Like him and Billy Horschel, like I feel like they're like the same player. They'll put together a good round, and then they'll just do 3 rounds where it's like, what are you doing? And Gary started out the season playing really well, but it seems like he goes on these 3-hole stretches where he shoots 5 over par. That just ends the round for him. So I mean, I think a lot of guys will be in this one because the winner's not expected to go so low. So I think, a lot of guys, if they, get a bogey here and there at this tournament, they're not going to lose their confidence where they would in, like the the Northern Trust or something like that. So I think there's a lot of guys that can easily win it, and it's gonna be an exciting tournament. It might not be too fun to watch like on the eyes if you're looking for scoring. But then again, I really wouldn't be surprised if the winner shot 4 under either. But I don't see anybody going like 10 under or something like that. That's just not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like last year.
Because some of these guys just get hot, and it's like lights out. So
yeah,
it'll be exciting to watch. I mean, a lot of people are like picking like Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, stuff like that. But I just haven't seen anything from Tommy Fleetwood this season that would make me want to back him. I mean, Adam Scott is a guy who could do well. But asking for Adam Scott to play 4 good rounds is like pulling teeth.
Right, he hasn't played that much either, so
he has not played that much at all.
I mean, we'll give away our picks right now. I mean, Trev went with Rahm because the harder courses and stuff like that. And I'm very high on Xander Schauffele this week. He kind of always hangs around the top in events like this.
Love Xander
just playing
too.
Great golf.
I think he could do really well also.
Mm-hmm.
He's like consistent as well.
Yeah.
I think Pat actually picked Fleetwood, so not a good look for him right now.
I mean, he's definitely capable. He just hasn't.
Yeah.
Okay, and then last thing, this is something that we're getting close on, but first round leaders, they're so hard to pick. But who do you have? Do you have a guy that you're leaning towards first round leader?
Well, I mean, 2 first round leaders that I always like to take a look at, and I think that their game suits perfectly for this tournament is Matsuyama. He's 40-1 first round leader. I mean, this is a guy who can easily go out in first round anywhere and shoot a 63, anywhere. Not that he's going to shoot a 63 here, but I mean, he can do that. He's capable of that anytime, any tournament. And Webb Simpson. Webb Simpson, he's been playing a little poorly lately, but it seems like this is the perfect time that he could turn around his game. And he's always a great first-round leader bet. So Matsuyama and Webb Simpson, they're both 40-1.
Yeah, we actually did the podcast last night, and Webb Simpson was one of the guys we pointed out, just based on the fact that he'll manage the course. He'll manage the course pretty well. If he stays around even par, that could be your first-round leader. Your first-round leader could be over par.
Yeah,
so
because the guys like DJ, Rahm, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, I mean, those guys usually start out like kind of slow.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see Matsuyama getting hot and then just fading the next few rounds. But I mean, you can never go wrong betting Matsuyama and Webb Simpson at first round leader. So,
do you like all the carnage in the U.S. Open, or do you like the high scoring like 30 under DJ kind of events?
I mean the Northern Trust. I mean, he was just crushing everybody. So it made it made the final round uneventful.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the carnage ones. I mean, it just depends on like what I'm betting. If I'm taking if I'm taking the full tournament score under or whatever, and I got they're doing like the U.S. Open in Shinnecock where, or the PGA Championship or whatever it was, where the 1 over is winning the tournament, and I have an underscore. I'm not gonna like it, but I don't see myself playing total score under for this tournament. Yeah. I would play the over if anything. I'm still waiting for that number to come out.
Right.
But this is a tournament where I would bet like the over on the cut line, and I would bet the over on the total score winner. And I don't really care. I mean, I think it was getting too easy. Like I think these par 4s and stuff were just getting too easy. Where like guys like Deshambo and stuff, they were reaching the green and on their tee shots and stuff. So it's nice to see guys not just destroy and dominate a golf course.
I agree.
It's nice to see them struggle sometimes. So I really don't mind it. It's fun to see them frustrated. It's fun to see Bryson DeChambeau get frustrated.
Yeah.
So
and then hit a 3-wood 3 times and make a 10. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think like the Memorial was like a little extreme, where like they didn't really care because they're like burning the course after anyways. Mm-hmm. So they just let it go to total crap. I think that was like a little extreme. I like to, if a winner is around like 4 under, that would be totally fine with me. I would like to see some carnage, but I would like to see some guys play it well too, like use more strategy instead of just like pure brute.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I got like Dustin Johnson's evolved. He's not trying to hit the 400-yard drive anymore. He's playing with, playing smarter, stuff like that. So It's going to be fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We look forward to it. Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
I mean, if you want to shout out your channels and stuff like that, go ahead. I know you have your package for this week.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a package every week of this season, it seems. I mean, I have. So I have my U.S. Open package. It goes out on Wednesday night at around 8 p.m. I take signups until like 1 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, mainly because I don't want to stay up all night just sending out the plays. Right. But it's $99, and it includes all the bets, first round leader, all matchups, stuff like that. It'll have a couple max plays for the tournament on there. My PGA max plays are 35 and 6 all time.
Insane.
I've actually,
that's
I was 28 and 2, so I'm like 7 and 4 my last 11. So I mean, been getting a little angry there, but as long as I stay away from Billy Horschel this weekend, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, definitely well worth it. We know from experience, the package is totally worth it. So if you guys are looking to make money this week, definitely check it out.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and maybe before the Masters, I can come on again and we can talk about that major.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course.
Have you on for all the majors.
Of course. We'll hope to see you then.
Yeah.
Thanks again, bud.
No problem. Talk to you guys later.
So, don't really know what you just listened to, but you listened to some Beating the Bookie picks. Definitely, for sure. So let's get into our betting. We'll hand over to Jeek for the course preview. This one's a great course preview because, of course, it's Winged Foot. So let's get into that.
Yeah, so U.S. Open week, Winged Foot Golf Club. There's actually 2 courses there, but they combine them, combine a couple holes to play the U.S. Open. The U.S. Open plays part. I think there's 1 or 2 holes that they take out of one of the courses and put it on the other, and just to make it longer. Anyway, they play a par 70, 74, 69, POA grass, POA greens, which is not for a Northeast course. POA is not that common. It's usually bent grass. Little tidbit there. It's a long course for a par 70 again. Another major for par 70, which is interesting. Long, thick, rough, lightning fast greens, pretty much just like any U.S. Open. Those are the big characteristics. One thing I do find interesting, there's 0 water hazards at Winged Foot, but the course is really tight and tree lined, so accuracy off the tee is kind of a must. Trev mentioned this before, but the winning score in 2006, which was the last U.S. Open, was +5, and the low round of that tournament was only a 68, which is 2 under. So don't expect the boys to be scoring that much this week. 3 out of the 4 par 4s. I don't know why it says par 4s. 3 out of the 4 par 4s, or par 3s. It's par 3s. 3 out of the 4 par 3s are over 200 yards, which is interesting. Some long par 3s. 2 of the par. Yeah, there's 2 par 5s. One is over 600. One is just under 600. And the par 4s range anywhere from 321, which is drivable, to 504. Just by looking at these stats and stuff, I think the key stats this week will be strokes gained, ball striking. You could kind of substitute that with strokes gained approach, but if you're good at strokes gained approach, you're going to be good at strokes gained, ball striking. Fairways gained is a big one. You could also partner that with strokes gained off the tee, so look at either of those stats, because you could look at fairways gains, just see Brendan Todd and be or Jim Furyk or something, and be yeah, those are the guys. Par 4s gained 450 to 500 yards. There's a bunch of these. This is an important stat at these par 70 courses that are kind of in the 7,500 yard range, and proximity from 200 plus yards. Basically because of the par 3s that are over 200 yards and the fact that the par 4s are going to be a little long. Previous winners of the U.S. Opens, I think most of you guys know this, but Gary Woodland won last year, Brooks Koepka the 2 years before that, DJ and Spieth. Once you're getting before that, it's not really much of a factor. Course horses, I'm not going to pick any course horses because it's kind of tough. The last time they played the U.S. Open here was 2006, so I wouldn't make course horses much of a factor.
I wouldn't exactly call Phil Mickelson a course horse because the I'm not digging the competition back then, but the competition nowadays is just so infinitely better.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. Phil is also 50 now. So
he looks a lot different. You see his post
I saw
on
the
Twitter,
post,
though. He looks
when
a lot
he was 36.
different.
Yeah, he went on that huge diet.
A lot different.
A lot leaner, Phil. Still hitting bombs. But,
still hitting.
Yes.
Use better clubs So is everyone.
So apparently there's actually a lot of holes that are combined on the course, which is
That's
kind
what
of
I thought.
like there's a map. There's a huge map, and it's like all over the place. But
Yeah, so
like
if you're a member,
the 18th hole that Phil played on, I don't think that's the 18th. I mean, maybe it is still his 18th hole. I'm not sure.
I mean, they went through a bunch of since 2006. They obviously went through a bunch of renovations and stuff to make the course longer. So, it is interesting. Now it sucks if you're a member there because you can't really play either course while this is all going on. If you go to a place like Baltusrol, you could play the other course. But, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
With that being said, we could get right into our DFS picks.
Who wants to start?
Well, let's start with the high salary guys.
Guys, of course.
Last week, Pat kind of mentioned Ches Reavie as a high salary guy he liked. He ended up finishing solo second, so that was a good pick.
My personal picks, not so great.
But the high salary guy, pretty good.
My lineup was good on skins. You guys follow Golf City Bets. My lineup was decent. Jeeks was really good.
Yes. So, first high salary guy, we're gonna go with Xander Schauffele at 10,100. We'll get into this a little bit later because Trev and I both really like Xander Schauffele this week. But basically, he shows up in big tournaments. And he's been playing well. So
Xander.
We'll get into
Love
the stats.
Xander.
We'll get into the stats later on. So stay tuned.
I also like Xander Schauffele, but I'm not going to just hop on your train
Right.
Yeah.
Just whenever that happens, it kind of goes south for us.
The pin high curve.
Yes.
It's not like the Chicklets bump, like the pin high bump. It's like the pin high curse.
Yes.
We really
If we all pick a guy, it might not work out, except for the PGA Championship where we all picked Morikawa in our lineup, and he won.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, or maybe Majors.
So maybe
Majors.
Yeah, maybe it's a major thing.
Maybe that's.
They don't call me Patty Majors for nothing.
I kind of just listed Rahm and DJ because I feel like this is their tournament to shine. One of those guys is going to be in the top 5 most likely. Their salaries are so high though, so I personally would stay away from them in a DraftKings lineup. But if you think one of them is going to win, you might as well put them in your lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That is kind of risky, of course, because they're so high, and it's a course where you can really fall apart. But they've both proven that they can play well at difficult courses.
Right, and U.S. Opens just in general always kind of favor like guys who are longer hitters who hit fades. So that kind of is DJ and Rahm, longer hitters who hit fades. Just look last year at Gary Woodland, a mid to long hitter, very good ball striker, hits a fade almost every time with his driver. I don't know, just something about U.S. Open courses just kind of favor that.
Right.
With that being said, Pat, you can start with your picks.
Okay. I'll go with my first one. I actually just changed this in the middle of the episode because I had this weird tingly feeling. And I have this weird tingly feeling with NHL teams all the time. For example, I bet the Stars to win the Stanley Cup this year. Not doing too shabby right now. So Tony Finau. You were going over everything. Long hitter, can hit a fade. You're saying good from 450 to 500 yard par 4s. I remember from just past tournaments that he's pretty efficient on those par 4s. And he's also, I remember seeing on a article when we were researching a different tournament that he's one of the most efficient par 3 scorers on par 3s over 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Tony Finau. I feel like he's good. He's good for a T6. He's not going to win.
Not to win.
He's Tony
not
Finau.
Puerto Rico curse, yeah.
But I will say a T6 wouldn't be too shabby out of him.
Was he 9,100? Not bad.
9,100. Not bad. I bet you could pair him and Schauffele together pretty easily.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I haven't filled out my lineup yet, so we'll see. But
I have not.
Sometimes when you're filling out a lineup, you just feel so good about one. Last week, I filled out the lineup and I was like, I feel good about this. So we'll see if that happens this week. Hopefully. Mm-hmm. I guess I'll go next. Also, just last week, Doc Redman, T3rd. McNeely got cut, but right on the cut line. Anyway, first pick, I'm going to go with Jason Day, 8,800. Just by looking at the stats, 29th in par 4s, 450 to 500, which is pretty good. 13th in proximity from 200 plus, which is also very good. Also, he's first in strokes gained around the green, so if he is going to miss the green, he could recover pretty easily. He had that really good stretch a couple weeks ago where he was it included a T4 at the Memorial and a T4 at the PGA, and he was like top 10s in like 4 straight starts. And I just think he's the type of golfer that could win at a tough course like this in a U.S. Open. Especially just kind of comparing it to the Memorial a little bit. Like the Memorial was a really tough condition like golf course, and he played pretty well there. So I don't know. I just kind of have a hunch about Jason Day this week. I just think he's going to show up.
That's a big theme of mine for who I picked, like my winner, and this first pick, Matthew Fitzpatrick, is playing well at Murfield, at the Memorial, and Olympia Fields. So I'll pick Matthew Fitzpatrick. Finished third at Murfield, T6 at Olympia Fields. You could say arguably like played the second best in those courses behind Jon Rahm all year. He's only 8,000. He's 16th in strokes gained total, second in strokes gained putting. So he's going to have an advantage on those lightning quick greens. So I like him at 8,000 salary. And he's also 8,000 for him is pretty. I think it's pretty good value
pretty
just
solid.
in general as well.
He was very up and down for a couple of weeks. Like he played really well at the Memorial, and then he was like not that great the week after. And
I
played
feel
really
like
well,
every
not that great.
I feel like every English golfer is like just
kind of like that consistently.
Middle, like consistently plays well at difficult golf courses, but doesn't score well like at like a Safeway Open.
I mean, I think Matthew Fitzpatrick had a really good run at one point, and then he kind of like had one bad tournament, and he's kind of doing this like every other tournament thing. So he could either be like amazing or like it could be not a great day for him. Like that, I forget what tournament it was, but like he was playing in a tournament a couple weeks ago, and just nothing was going his way. Like he was like wasn't playing like awful, but like he would hit a shot and it would like hit something like a weird bounce or something and go the wrong way. It's just like the golf gods weren't on his side that week.
He also finished T6 at the WGC FedEx St. Jude too. So I like that. I
like that pick, especially in the middle of the road there, 8,000.
Exactly. So I'll go my next pick. Our guy, Chez Reavie. Talk about hitting the fairway, 7th in driving accuracy in the 1920 season. Played really well last week, T3 last week, and finished T3 last year at the U.S. Open. And he's 29th in strokes gained approach. And obviously he's playing decent form. Hits in the fairway. I think 6,900 is a great value for a guy. And he's so underrated.
Definitely. Because he's not the flashy. He's not a flashy golfer.
Yeah. He's literally he's the 41st ranked golfer in the world, and he's 6,900 on salary. It's crazy.
Podcast, that we've been on the Chez Reavie train
since day one.
Since day one. On day one, were we kind of chirping him? Maybe.
We don't have to go back to that.
Yeah.
Would love to pull up that clip, but at the same time, we got on the train very quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like he's not like I was saying before, he's not a flashy golfer. He's not going to hit it like Bryson does. He doesn't really hit it that far at all, but in efficient golf, I mean, Chez Reavie plays some of the most efficient golf on tour, so
definitely.
At 6,900 is kind of a steal, especially how well he played last week. Now, with that being said, you mentioned last year. I'm going to pick last year's U.S. Open winner, Gary Woodland, at 7,800. Now, I don't think that really correlates much at all, like going into this year, because Pebble didn't really play that hard last year. I think the winning score was 13 under.
Yeah, that's true.
I fully expect the score to be around par or over par this year, so I don't think that correlates much. But just like diving into the stats, he's 10th in strokes gained approach. He's obviously always been a good ball striker. He's 38th in strokes gained putting this year, so he's kind of figured out his putting. And just like as a defending champ, I feel like you go into a tournament as a defending champ with like a bit of a chip on your shoulder a little bit. I don't know. I feel like you feel like you're the man kind of going to that tournament, and like you feel like you need to win it again. Kind of like Brooks Koepka a couple years ago where he went back-to-back U.S. Opens. Like you just kind of go into the tournament being that guy. And so like that being said, at 7,800, that's pretty nice value for the defending champ. And also he finished T33 at the BMW, T22 at the Memorial, which were two courses of harder conditions.
That was a tournament we had him first round leader, and he finished like one off or something like that too. Like, exactly. He played well he played great that first day.
He could play well in tough conditions. if the wind is up, which I honestly don't really expect, like Gary Woodland's one of the best players when the wind's up because he can keep that ball low. Yeah, which is probably why that's really the reason he won the U.S. Open last year, is because like the windy conditions at Pebble, he was able to keep the ball low. But T22 in proximity from 200 plus. I feel like Gary Woodland's been at like the middle of the road in salary for a lot of these big tournaments, and like when you see his name down there as a major winner, like not like pretty recently, I feel like you got to pick him.
Yeah,
I agree. I like that pick.
I like it,
especially that value. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's great value. I think some more great value. Brendan Todd, 7,400. I mean, he's just played some of the best golf for somebody he's played the best golf for somebody who's probably in the 7,000s this week. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate.
Oh, I definitely best golf. He's playing like the best golf, like top 10, like all year best golf.
Yeah, exactly.
I love how like we can't go an episode without one of us picking him to do something.
I thought I was literally about to pick Brendan Todd. I was deciding between Brendan Todd and Ches Reavie because I thought Brendan Todd's like, okay, hit fairways. That's what he can do. That's all he's gonna do.
I mean, I'm looking at the 7,000s right now. There's a lot of names that pop out to me. I mean, Matthew Wolff, Harris English, Kevin Kisner has been playing pretty well. I mean, Cameron Champ played well at the PGA. Siwoo Kim. I mean, there's a lot of names.
I think Brendan Todd has some interesting, just an interesting value, interesting like ceiling in this tournament. I feel like he's a very high ceiling. I feel like it's more of a football term, but he has a very high ceiling in this tournament because he's great around the green. He's great. He's a great putter, hits fairways. He really just kind of has to ball strike, which he's been doing recently.
I wonder what a Brendan Todd to make the cut is, because I feel like that, like just talking about like course management and stuff like that, I feel like Brendan Todd's the type of guy who could like manage the course well and like will make the cut.
He definitely.
I mean,
he's minus 186 to make the cut.
Okay.
I'm looking at his ball striking recently. Yeah, I mean it's not terrible. Like it's not fantastic, but it's just one of those things where if he turns on his ball striking, that's the only thing where he's kind of lacking. So his ceiling, I feel his ceiling with 7,400 is pretty damn high.
If he hits fairways, he has such a leg up on the field. Like we saw that video of Arnold Palmer can in the rough. If he hits fairways, that's so much of an advantage going for the greens and like scoring. So like that rough is like a guy like him is not going to be able to hit it well out of the rough. He's not going to hit it well out of the rough.
And I'm just kind of
if he hits the fairways every time.
I see like a little bit of a common theme with all of our picks so far. Like pretty much everybody that we've picked they're all really good iron players.
Yeah.
Just about everyone that we picked. I mean, Tony Finau's a good iron player. Gary Woodland's one of the best in the world. Jason Day, Ches Reavie is a very good iron player. Brendan Todd is a good iron player. So.
He's not a fantastic iron player.
But I just think he manages it well. He's a good lawn iron player. He's a good lawn iron player.
Yeah.
So and I feel like not necessarily going to win, but he's one of those guys where, like Trevor said, it's such an advantage to hit the fairway and just keep on doing it instead of guys that will just start putting it everywhere and just start falling behind.
I agree.
So with that being said, let's go on to bets.
Right. I'll start with bets.
Okay, go ahead, Trev.
So I got my winner. I said it a couple weeks ago after he won at Olympia Fields. John Rahm, plus 10,000. I'm riding him. Played the best by far at the toughest courses this year. One at Murfield, one at Olympia Fields. I think his results are like ridiculous. He's finished fourth at the Tour Championship, T6 Northern Trust, first BMW, T13 PGA, first the Memorial. He's on tear. I feel like he takes like a couple tournaments like where he plays like really well, and then he just turns it on for like when it matters most so far.
Agreed.
And I'm banking on him to win his first major this week at Winged Foot. I think he has a really good shot. And I'll go my best bet to Xander Schauffele, top 20, minus 125. I think this is an absolute steal. I think he always plays well in the brightest lights. I could definitely see him winning. He's top 10, six of his only 12 major starts. And again, his results past few weeks are ridiculous. T2 last week, finished T25 at the Northern Trust and BMW, but then T10 PGA, T6 were at WGC FedEx St. Jude, and T13 at the Memorial. He plays well when the field's at its best, and he plays well when the stakes are the highest. And I love Xander this week. Absolutely love Xander.
I'm just gonna hop right into my picks now that you made that, because my winner is gonna be Xander Schauffele at plus 1600. And like honestly, I wanted to pick DJ or Rahm, but like I just couldn't do it. I don't like picking like the favorite, so I'll pick the guy that's right under them. And you can't argue that like you can argue that no one is really on a better run than Xander is right now, besides DJ and Rahm, who have just been playing lights out. I mean, if you look at his last 10 starts, which are all the starts after COVID, like from the return, he's finished top 25 in 9 out of 10 of them, and he's made the cut in all of them. He had a T2 finish last week at the Tour Championship, which he was down a lot of strokes like to begin with, so he came back. I think he was down 8 strokes to start with, so he definitely gained a lot of ground there. And I think if that tournament started off like as an even like tournament where everybody started off at the same, he might have won it. Also, he's 7th in strokes gained ball strike and 21st in par 4s 450 to 500. Played solid at the BMW, solid at the Memorial, and 8th in strokes gained off the tee. So just as a player that's not DJ or Rahm, I feel like Xander Schauffele has a really good shot at it this week.
I agree.
And then my best bet, I saw this and I was like, I feel like I have to take it. I'm going to go with Dustin Johnson, top 5 American player, plus 100. It's even money. Just based on how he's playing, I feel like he's going to be top 5 like in the tournament overall. So being a top 5 American player at even money, I mean, I feel like he's going to be there.
American feels deep. I mean,
obviously American feels deep.
Him finishing outside the top 5 would be a surprise in the Americans.
It's just
he's probably going to finish top 10 or top 5.
This is how I could pick him without picking him to win, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I could have picked him as top American player plus 500, but like why would I take that bet? If I'm going to take that bet, I might as well pick him to win. So
yeah,
top 5
exactly.
American.
So for my winner, I got Tommy Fleetwood this week. Also, just not really trying to go with Rahm or DJ, just because who really wants to hear that as a pick? Like, it doesn't take a genius to be like, oh yeah, I think Rahm or DJ might win this week.
Mm-hmm. But then if you do get it right, I mean, it's nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially Trev's picking Rahm, he has him at plus 1,000, which is good value, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do like the Xander pick, but Fleetwood, great off the tee, great putter, great around the green. Ball striking, can't really take his stats into account that much because he doesn't play on the PGA Tour a ton, so he can't take his PGA Tour stats into account that much. But he's a pretty good long iron player, so I feel like another one of those guys like Matthew Fitzpatrick that can contend in tournaments like this.
Also, Tommy Fleetwood's like at the U.S. Open, he has a great track record. Like he finished second to Shinnecock and at Erin Hills. He played great too. That was the first time I ever heard of him. I'm like, who is this guy with long hair? Also, and then he played great at Shinnecock too. He's
coming in hot too. He finished T3 in the Portugal Masters last week.
Yeah,
where I can't name a single. I can't name a single player that was in the field besides him.
And my best bet, I don't know if you remember him, but is it Michael Lorenzo Vera? He was in the PGA Championship. He played incredibly well the whole entire time.
Especially in the first couple of rounds. First round.
I bet against him, and he beat me in it. Like, I think I was betting against him the whole week, and, just kept beating me. Top French player. The next one is our guy, Victor Perez, and then the other two I never even heard of. So, he played sick at the PGA Championship. Good European Tour player. I think there's only 4 French players. I think 138 is pretty good value.
I love the nationality bets.
Love them.
Like, honestly, I was ready to go for the top Canadian player again. I feel like I'm hot picking Canadians, but
yeah. Also, I looked at this. I kind of like Louis Oosthuizen top South African player over like Van Rooyen and Christian Bizundut.
Okay, I feel like Trev's like the South Africa specialist. I'm the Canadian specialist. I don't know what Pat specializes in. But maybe after this week, it's the French guys.
The French specialist, yeah.
I think you pronounce it Christian Gesundheit.
Gesundheit? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's right.
That's how we're going to pronounce it.
Yeah, okay.
First round leaders, we also have Tommy Fleetwood for the same reasons, but he's also plus 4,000 in that, which, first round leader bets, we're going to hit one of these and somebody's going to bet it, and it's going to be such a good hit. It's like 10 win 400. Come on.
The funny part is we've been getting so close. Like, we've been getting really close on these first round leaders, like just barely off.
Had Brendan Steele last week in a first round, right?
I don't even know if we picked the first round leader last week. Last week was a weird week. Kind of a throwaway.
Trevor, did you not have Brendan Steele?
I think we did have Brendan Steele.
Okay.
He was really close. I actually bet on him. He was so close. I was watching him the whole time.
Okay. Yeah. So the next one, we're going to go with Webb Simpson. Pat was like, I was like, so who are we going to pick for first round leaders? And Pat's like, well, who's a guy that's going to like manage the course and like play well in the first round, like potentially. And the first name that came to my mind was Webb Simpson. So he's like the definition of that, like manage the course and like just keep himself in it.
Yep, short hitter, but like, of course, not that short. Short for the PGA Tour. But
accurate.
Yeah. Accurate ball striker.
Just solid player.
Good putter.
And he's played well at the US Open in the past 2 years as well. I think it's like T16, T10.
I mean, I'm looking for. He just needs to be like +1. That might be the first round leader score this year. +1.
I think,
and he can do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go bold with it. I could be 3 strokes off, but I'm gonna go 1 under is gonna be the first round leader. Okay. I think somebody manages the course.
Right. 1 under. What do you think wins the tournament? What score wins the tournament?
Gonna go with 5 over.
5 over.
Maybe 3.
I was gonna go. I'll go. If you went 3, I'll go 2 because I was gonna go 3. I'll go 2 over then. I think 2 over wins it.
I'll go 3. Yeah,
I'll go that 3. Rough. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what was the winning score of the BMW?
I like minus.
I think it's 4 or 5.
3 or 4 maybe.
I gotta look at this. It's amazing. It was only a couple weeks ago, and I still don't.
I know, yeah.
Score was.
It went to the playoffs, so I don't really. I don't like. I just remember the playoff. That's all.
Whatever.
I remember TJ making that putt.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be a little bit harder than the BMW. Give me plus. It's. I don't want to like pick the same number as you, but let's say +4. Like, that's what I think it's gonna be at. Just kind of split the difference there.
Now let's go birdies and bogeys to end the week. I'll start. I shot an 80. I shot an 80 the other day. Yeah.
Love it.
Was buzzing. Had a really good chicken parm sandwich today. Another great birdie. Bogey.
I was thinking about playing college golf, by the way.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go for this right now.
With like a 12 handicap.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
I can't publicly go out with this theory. No. Got it. I can't talk about this.
We're already like a quarter of the way into the first semester of our senior year, and Pat has just thought about it. So.
No, okay. So, I won't go deep into it, but just know that it's a very standard theory that I can't talk about. But either way, bogey of the week. I don't know. I maybe can't watch most of the U.S. Open, so.
Mm-hmm. That's a little.
But on the other hand,
and you missed the place, sure.
We're gonna make a lot of money.
That's true. That's a good point. All right, so I'll go my birdie and bogey kind of tie in. My car was broken into twice last week at night. I think it's because. Sorry.
Were your clubs in there?
Yes, that was wicked. My birdies, my clubs, and my shoes are still there, so I'll take that.
Let's go.
The only thing that's like my car was broken into and like twice. I don't know why. And like I guess I just left it open like forgot to lock it as I was walking out. I think one night my friend I was like getting like drunk, and like, my friend drove home, and then I just forgot to lock the car. But so and like
drinking driving was happening there.
No, it was not happening. We don't do that.
Not here.
But and then like I get to my car the next 2 days, and it's like there's like stuff like all over like the floor of like the car. Like my aux cord was stolen. I had these thank you notes that were written to people that I had guest speakers in class. I had these thank you notes written, and they were like in my like.
I stole those.
They stole those. I was like, why?
They left your golf clubs, but they stole your thank you cards. Maybe maybe it was somebody in your class, Trev. Maybe somebody wanted some thank you notes.
Yeah, like they stole 2 thank you notes. I was near the post office. Like the next day, I get in my car. I'm like, they're gone. So
what did they do with those?
I don't know.
There's not even like you were like sending money or something.
There's not even stamps on them either. You might have thought they were sending money. That's actually a very good theory. But there's not even stamps on them at all. So that was my birdie and bogey. And I guess my other birdie is that just football is back, and I get to watch the U.S. Open and NFL Sunday this weekend. I could not be more excited.
Nice. All right, so my birdie is going to be that I fixed the driver yips. Last week I had the driver yips. This week I didn't. I don't know what I did to fix it, but like I was striping the ball with the driver, so fix the driver yips.
Patty draws is back. Don't know
Patty draws? No,
wait, what?
Yeah, just randomly started hitting like that baby draw again. Don't know what happened.
Oh, other bogeys. I haven't played golf in like 3 weeks because all my friends still are recovering from COVID, which is not fun.
Yeah. So, the driver yips are kind of gone. I didn't shank any the other day. I mean, had one like go left, but I didn't do any of those like top the ball like shanks that happened when I hit my driver bad.
It's always good to hear.
Had a couple of really nice ones.
Having if your driver's on it, like makes it gives you so much confidence.
And, we were playing like a relatively toughish course, like not super tough, but like relatively tough. I think I ended up shooting an 88, which is not terrible. Could have been better because on the 10, we get to 10, it's like a elevated like tee box. I guess this might as well just be my bogey because I don't really have a lot of bogeys right now. Elevated tee box, hit my driver like 290 yards, feeling myself like right in the center of the fairway, walking up to the ball, just absolutely feeling myself. Hit the chip shot, like a little 52-degree wedge, like chip up the hill onto the green. I'm like, okay, this like I saw it land. I'm like, oh yeah, that's on the green. Like should be putting for birdie, like whatever, should be good. Get up there, ball's not on the green, it's over the green, and like fescue. So I have like a little like, and that's like on a downhill like steep line. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm in the fescue. Like how am I gonna like get this shot on the green, and, like keep it on the green? So me being dumb, I shot like a 40 like one on the front or something like that. So like I was potentially could have broke 80, but not quite. Mm-hmm. Me being dumb, like let's play the hero shot. So I tried to flop it. Goes skulls over the green into the bunker. I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm in the bunker, and it's like a relatively long bunker shot. Now I'm like, I'm good out of the bunker. I'm like, I'm sick out of the bunker. I'll just put this right next to the hole. Like, we'll be set because I was doing like sick out of the bunker this week. Get out of the bunker, hit my worst bunker shot yet. Like, it's hard sand. It like rained the day before. I was like, hit the bunker shot back into the fescue on the top. Like again, I'm like, well, shit. Now I have another hard shot. I'm not gonna flop it this time. Like chip it down, hits the green, rolls off the side of the green, chip it off. I ended up making like a 7 on 10 first hole on the front 9, and I was playing like I had no double bogeys on the front, pretty much mostly pars and bogeys. So I ended up shooting an 88 and did not break 80 because the back 9 was not great. So yeah, that's the game of golf.
Could have been worse though.
It's like that feeling when you get up to your ball after you just stripe one down the middle, and like you're like, oh yeah, this easy shot like in like could potentially birdie this hole, and then you end up with 7. So is what it is.
Not fantastic.
Either way, the other bogey is the Islanders lost again. They're one loss away from elimination. Which
what's the series at?
3-1.
So they're
3-1. Never say never. Team doesn't quit, but it is tough.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen. Hockey's different.
I'm like so invested right now too, so it will be tough if they lose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know.
Hopefully the boys have made you some money when you're, and not when you're listening to this. Potentially, you've put your bets in by the end of this episode. We're going to make you some money. What tournament's even next week? I couldn't tell you.
Oh, I cannot tell you.
It doesn't really matter because this is the last tournament that matters until the Masters. But, of course, we'll be back next week to recap the U.S. Open and give you some picks for the next tournament we got.
The Corrales Punta Cana Resort and Club Championship.
Fantastic. We'll
Awesome.
see. We'll see you for a recap of this and a preview of that.
Yeah.
Weird tournament.